bonafide.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. It's National Christmas Card Day today. Yeah. Okay, that's decent. Weary Willie Day?
It is what it is.
And having beaten anorexia, you can guess where I'm heading on this one. Yeah, it looks like a good one for today. Today is National Pastry Day. Yeah, like that one. Okay, we'll go with that. Check the markets today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 43.5 points. S&P 500, that one is down 6.63. And NASDAQ down 44.45. Ow! Yeah, we're looking at the oil market. The oil's down about 2 cents a barrel. Not a whole heck of a lot there. But how does that translate? Gasoline, $2.15 or $2.16 a gallon, national average. Venezuela still at $3.18. And Missouri dropped a penny, $1.83 in Missouri. So $1.35, yeah, that's we're paying $1.35 more than our fellows. Well, I guess in America that would be $1.35 cheaper than it is here in Venezuela. I guess some people get mad at me when I call it Venezuela, but we are much more like Venezuela than we are many other areas in the world. So I just call it Venezuela. I think that's probably a bit fitting for us. Don't you think that's fitting? I'm gonna go with yes because it's my broadcast. I can do that kind of thing. So let's take a look also what else is going on in the world right now. Obviously, they've still got the coronavirus. That's the biggie right now, obviously. And I found it very, very fascinating yesterday. So the White House has a big meeting with the vaccine manufacturers, demonstrating exactly what the plan is. Obviously, I know Joe Biden said there is no plan. He's got a good plan. It's basically copy what Trump is doing. But I'll tell you about Biden's three-part plan in just a second. You'll understand why I say that. But think about this. We had during the time when Joe Biden is talking about doom and gloom, how terrible the world is going to be, how bad the virus is. President Trump is out there with the CEOs of or leaders at FedEx, UPS, McKesson, and the task force for the coronavirus, all talking about and demonstrating how the vaccine is going to be delivered, who's going to deliver, when it's going to deliver, how they're going to get it there, how they're going to protect it, who's getting it, all of that good stuff. All very, very positive. Going into the holidays, it's nice having a leader that's positive. Although then we have, on the other hand, we've got Joe Biden, who nominated Javier Baccaria. Yeah, Javier Baccaria is who he said he was nominating for HHS secretary. Yeah, apparently they didn't get the pronunciation or the phonetics into the teleprompter for Joe Biden because it's Javier Becerra, Joe. Come on, get with it. But here's the 3-part plan to tackle the coronavirus, according to Joe Biden. Number 1 is masks. Talk to Alex Berenson. They don't work. Number 2 is vaccinations. Yeah, the Trump administration is doing that. And opening schools. Wow. Venezuela, we don't believe in that. In New York, they don't believe in that. President Trump has been pushing for it for quite some time. These are all things that Joe's going to do in his first 100 days. Well, I guess if he just gets out of the way, that'll take care of getting that done in the first 100 days. And he also came up with a brilliant idea. This one I was really, really glad to hear. Amazing. It was good news. Joe Biden said that he thinks in his first 100 days, he wants to get 100 million vaccinations done. Let's do the math here. So we're talking about in the Trump administration, December 20 million, January 30 million, February 40 million. What is that? 50 million. Sorry about that. I guess that comes out to 100 million dosages. It's already on the plans. It's already in the works. So what are you doing to help us, Joe? What's your plan, Joe? Because you kept telling us all of these things that wouldn't work. Amazing. Maybe he'll be able to help us because there are many that believe Joe Biden will be a lobbyist for the Communist Party in China. Amazing. House Intel Committee member Eric Swalwell. Yes, the representative from Venezuela. Yeah, apparently he got caught with his hand in a cookie jar. Axios reported on Monday that a Chinese national named Fang Fang or Christine Fang targeted up-and-coming local politicians, including Swalwell. Fang reportedly took part in fundraising for Swalwell's 2014 re-election campaign. Although she did not make donations, was there evidence of illegal contributions? She's a Chinese spy. Does that surprise anybody with Swalwell?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Sure doesn't me. Amazing. Texas AG Paxton breaks down a last-ditch election challenge before the Supreme Court, claims unreliable results. Interesting. Election integrity comes down to abiding by the Constitution, and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton told Fox News that he intends to defend the Constitution, even if many others don't want to. Paxton explained the suit arose from the recognition that other states and their election management have a direct impact on his own. If other states don't follow the Constitution, if their state legislature isn't responsible for overseeing their elections, it affects his state, Texas. He says his job is to make sure the Constitution is followed and that every vote counts. And in this case, I'm not sure every vote was counted, not in the right way. Again, that's per Paxton. The Supreme Court, they threw out the other Pennsylvania case earlier in the day. Apparently, they have docketed this case from Paxton. See what happens on that. Not a whole heck of a lot of likelihood of it going anywhere. But, you know, something, when you've got an organization, this is an interesting concept because, again, nobody will tell you this other than Ron Siegel Radio, that 538, it's a left-leaning organization, 538, has come out and says 60% of the population has no faith in the election. 60% no faith in the election. Now, if that's true, and I don't know why 538 would say that, being that they are a left-leaning organization, but if that's true, how can the Supreme Court sit on their hands right now? They're the only ones that has any control over all of the country. How do they continue to sit on their hands? I'm curious about that. Don't think anything's going to happen, but, you know, I do throw out that curiosity. As you know, I used to be in the import-export business. I have a fascination because I watched yesterday, going back to the discussion on the vaccines. Pretty amazing when you see what the packaging is that the corrupt Pfizer Corporation came out with, in my opinion. But Pfizer came out with a packaging for their vaccine that needs to maintain minus 70 degrees below 0 Celsius. The packaging that they're using for their product, fascinating. A box holding about 5,000 doses And it's got dry ice on top and bottom. It's got sensors to make sure that the temperature is maintained, tracking devices to find out where every single box is. Pretty fascinating when you've got a background in this and you see what they're doing here. 3 different tracking devices on every carton. 3. So they'll know exactly where it is, what's going on with that package at all times. I found that to be quite amazing. So we're going to watch that one as well. So I just thought between UPS and FedEx, and then you've got the lame street media. So here's this. The lame media, for the most part, did not even cover the biggest story in America, right? They haven't stopped covering the vaccine in almost a year, since March, right? Or the virus since March. Now that they've got the companies responsible for vaccines, delivery, dosages, the Surgeon General, they decide they're going to go and listen to a teleprompter presentation from Joe Biden, where he doesn't even know the name of the parties that he's nominating, right? Javier Baccaria. Unreal. See, it just baffles me how this continues to go on and people don't call him out on it, but the media doesn't care. Hey, what's driving the markets right now? That's a big question as well. Maybe we'll talk about what is driving the markets when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, yeah, we've got a good broadcast, a great broadcast lined up for you today. We're going to chat a bit about, you know something? Goya. You remember the Goya Foods? They're the Hispanic food market. They named AOC as their employee of the month. Kind of love that one. I forgot to mention that to you. Home prices headed toward a bubble territory. We're going to all talk about that. Gift tax limit for 2021, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you, but the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next mortgage, when you're ready to buy that next home, debt consolidation loans, Geneva Financial, they've got them all. All you got to do is visit the website, ronismylender.com, or you can text My Home Mortgage to 79564. My Home Mortgage to 79564. No spaces in that My Home Mortgage when you text that. You'll get right to the team. So what is happening in the markets today, and why is it happening? That's more important. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average, now it's down 41 points. The NASDAQ down 74 points. The S&P 500 down 6 points. The 10-year Treasury, it's up 4 basis points to 0.948. Mortgage-backed securities, they've dropped 3 basis points, 103.63 on the 2% bond. Why is it happening? Well, maybe the market's doing what it's doing. Now, I'll tell you the big reason why the market is doing what it's doing, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the mortgage market as well. But the big thing with the whole idea here, stimulus talks, they're back and forth, and it appears the market is following any signs of optimism and pessimism. If a deal is eventually done, you can count on positive stock market reaction. If a deal does not get done, and whenever they come out with comments saying, maybe we'll get it done, maybe we won't, well, the market goes southbound. We were up quite a bit earlier in the morning, and now it's down. We see what's going on. Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for the week. They do it every Wednesday, showing that overall application volume decreased by 1.2% from the previous week. Refinances were up 2% last week and are 89% higher year over year. Purchase volume was down 5% last week, but is still 22% higher than last year. Don't look at the week over week number on purchase volume, because the Mortgage Bankers Association, the week over week, the current week would be last week. The week that's over is Thanksgiving week, which is 2 weeks ago. The mortgage bankers in many of these institutions have trouble when it's a holiday week. They just don't get the information correct, because it's hard to project what those numbers would be when you're taking out a day or two from the capacity. So when they say it's down 5% last week, take it with a grain of salt. Look at it as 22% higher than last year. And when inventory was down 20%, you might just understand that, something, we're doing pretty well, and that real estate is a very, very hot, very, very thriving market right now. The media sounded the alarms and discouraged would-be buyers by saying that purchase volume was down due to an affordability wall. So we covered this yesterday, showed that homes are actually more affordable, But let's unpack why the media said this in today's report. Purchases down 5%, leading them to believe there was less demand because of higher prices. Again, that's a week-over-week comparison, and the comparison is to last week, which measured Thanksgiving week. During holiday weeks, there are many assumptions and estimates made, often making those holiday weeks very unreliable. And the report showed purchases up 9% in that week, which we told you, take that with a grain of salt back then, just like I tell you to take it with a grain of salt right now. After getting some real data that you can rely on, from that level, after being up 9%, purchases fell 5%. It's amazing how flawed the media's thinking is. The real figure to look at here, again, year-over-year number. If there was an affordability wall, we would not see such a huge gain in lieu of incredible tight inventory from last year. I heard it from Stuart Varney, Diana Olick. Both of them got it wrong because they're not looking at all the numbers. They don't have they didn't go through the process that I did with you yesterday. Take a look at that. If you didn't see it, go check out the broadcast yesterday where I laid out the entire set of numbers on why homes are actually more affordable now, even though, according to CoreLogic, they appreciated by 7% year over year. Big news is going to come out right as we go off air today, 10 o'clock our time. The results of the 10-year Treasury note auction is going to come out. It's going to be a focal point for market movement when we're talking about the 10-year Treasury and the mortgage-backed securities. Strong demand, it can help propel bonds higher, which means lower interest rate. If there's weak demand, it can cause bonds to sell off. So we're going to be watching that very, very closely for you. But then again, we watch a lot of the numbers closely. If you're one of our private clients or one of the real estate professionals that work with our team, you're probably getting, you're not probably, you are getting this information on a regular basis because it's just what we do always for our folks. We need to make sure that the people that we're working with are constantly getting the best information possible. How do you get the best information possible? Well, you have to be watching the market. You have to understand the markets. You have to understand things like affordability that I shared with you earlier. Right? Those are all big issues that you need to be looking at and seeing what makes sense for you, what makes sense for your family, what makes sense for the people that you're serving. Right? That is the whole idea. It's not about you if you're a professional. It's not about me as a professional. It's about the community. And we always want to look and remember, who is it that we're serving? How are we helping? And how do we get those people to get to where they want to be? It's not about where we want to be. It's about where that consumer wants to be, where that consumer wants to go. And that's what we need to be more focused on than anything else. Again, that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. If you're ready for that next mortgage, give me a call, 800-306-1990. We will chat about what's in your best interest, how we can help you deal with that which is most important to you. Saw this article. I thought I'd share some of the information with you from it. Things I wish I knew before I got my first job. College seniors. God, do you remember that time when you're a college senior? You know, you want to understand what the world is all about, what's going on. Where do you want to be? You have to understand who you're dealing with. You have to realize that when you're going to work, it is a job. It's a place of employment. Your boss they're there to get a job done too. They're not there to be your friend. They're not there to be your pal. They've got responsibilities. You need to understand that as a first-time employee, a new employee. And if your goal is to move up, you need to prove to your boss that you're worthy, that you're doing the things that make the company get to their goals, that you are an important part of that team, that cog. Credit debt is not normal. A lot of people grew up thinking credit cards were like a fountain I could dip into any time. Some people run short on cash. Pretty dumb. They've learned there's only one smart way to use credit. Charge what you're going to afford to pay off every month. Carrying a balance only wrecks your credit score and means you will get hit with high interest rates. Yes, you can save and afford to save. I talked to you earlier this week about a nice little book. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon, right? And the concept there, you have to get past the first part of it because it is kind of weird at the beginning areas of it. Man in Babylon, it's about how to allocate your funds. 10% going toward your savings, toward your retirement, 20% paying off any debts that you may have, and the remaining 70%, that's what you live on. Now, once you get all your debts paid off, guess what? You get to live on 90%. Or if I would recommend to live on 80 and put 20 into your savings. Affordability is relative is the next item. Things we wish that we knew going in. When you're looking at numbers, realize that a number that you have today in one area is not the same as in another area, right? So our team is actually looking right now to start to expand into Idaho and Washington. Well, going into Idaho and Washington, the cost of living there is significantly different than it is here in Southern Calizuela. Right, so we need to think about that and put that into perspective when we're doing our budgeting for new offices in those places. Right, we need to look and say, okay, well, home prices are not the same. In order to get to the same end result, you have to do more loans or you have to do more business. So think about that in your budgeting. And something I learned way back when I was at Chapman College, now Chapman University, one of the people that later became the dean of the School of Business brought this up. It's okay to quit your job. Here's what his commentary was at that time. Never, ever take a job that does not give you or a new job that doesn't move you up the corporate food chain and gives you a higher salary. A better title with no extra money is not a promotion. Right? If you can't live better from what you're doing, why are you doing it? So his concept was every 3 to 5 years, and he started out as a low-level employee and became a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. How did he do it? He did it by changing jobs every 3 to 5 years, always moving up, always a more significant title, always more money. And he was able to get to that position by following that guidance. I share that with you. I've shared that with many others, my kids included. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets when we come back. Yeah, we got still a lot to cover with you today. Home prices headed towards bubble territory. So on one hand, the markets are saying affordability problem. On the other hand, they're saying bubble territory. Really? Gift tax limit 2021. And of course, we've got a featured home from mysocallender.com, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The Digest, it does tell you everything the market believes about your property. It'll tell you everything that the county recorder knows about your property. Best of all, it's free. All you have to do is go to SLT Home Digest. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home again before someone else does. Our home price is headed toward bubble territory. Talk of a housing bubble is beginning to crop up as home prices have appreciated at a rapid pace this year. This is understandable since the appreciation of residential real estate is well above historic annual averages. According to the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, annual appreciation since 1991 has averaged 3.8%. Here are the latest 2020 appreciation numbers from three reliable resources. FHFA 7.8%, CoreLogic 7.3%, Case-Shiller 7%. Easy to jump to the conclusion that house appreciation is out of control in today's market. However, we need to put these numbers into context first. Inflation and the comeback from the housing crash. Following the housing crash, home values depreciated dramatically from 2007 to 2011. Values are still recovering from that unusually long period of falling prices. We must also realize that normal inflation has had an impact. Bill McBride, the founder of the well-respected Calculated Risk blog, recently summed it up this way, and I quote, "It's been over 14 years since the bubble peak. In the Case-Shiller release today, the seasonally adjusted national index was reported as being 22.2% above the previous bubble peak. However, in real terms, that's adjusted for inflation, the national index is still about 2% below the peak level. As an example, if a house price was $200,000 in January 2000, the price would be close to $291,000 today, adjusted for inflation." The COVID impact on home prices, the pandemic caused many households to reconsider whether their current home still fulfills their lifestyle. Many homeowners now want larger yards that are both separate and private. Their needs on the inside of the home have changed too. People now want home offices, gyms, and living rooms well suited for video conferencing. Barbara Ballinger, a freelance writer and the author of several books on real estate, recently wrote, quote, "While homeowners continue to want their outdoor spaces that offer a safe retreat, that appeal has shifted into other parts of the home, coupling comfort with function. In other words, homeowners want amenities for work and leisure, and they plan to enjoy them long after the pandemic," unquote. Same time, concerns about the pandemic have caused many homeowners to put their plans to sell on hold. Realtor.com just released their November monthly housing market trends report, and it explains, quote, "Nationally, the inventory of homes for sale decreased 39.2% over the past year in November. This amounted to 490,000 fewer homes for sale compared to November of last year," unquote. 490,000 fewer homes for sale compared to November last year. Wow. More people buying, fewer people selling has caused home prices to escalate. However, with a vaccine on the horizon, more homeowners will be putting their houses on the market. Better balance supply with demand and slow down the rapid appreciation. That's why major organizations in the housing industry are calling for much more moderate home appreciation next year. Here are the most recent forecasts for 2021. Nothing like 2006. Finally, let's put to rest some of the concerns that today's scenario is anything like what led up to the last housing crash. Lawrence Yun, chief economist of the National Association of Realtors, explains why this is nothing like 2006. Quote, "Such a frenzy of activity reminiscent of 2006 raises questions about a bubble and the potential for a painful crash. The answer? There's no comparison. Back in 2006, dubious adjustable rate mortgages taxed many buyers' budgets. Some loans didn't even require income documentation. Today, buyers are taking out 30-year fixed rate mortgages. 14 years ago, there were 3.8 million homes listed for sale, and home builders were putting up about 2 million new units. Now, inventory is only 1.5 million homes, and home builders are underproducing relative to historical averages. Fascinating information. Most aspects of life have been anything but normal in 2020, ain't that the truth? That includes buying and selling real estate with high demand coupled with restricted supply caused home prices to appreciate above historic levels. With the end of the health crisis in sight, we'll see a price appreciation return to more normal levels next year. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Always looking at those dream homes. And I like to know exactly what the market knows about my property all the time. So I am one of the nerds that's always looking at that. So just a bit of information there for you. So we talked earlier in the I think it was the last segment, we were chatting about the concept of why are the markets doing what they're doing, and the fact of the Congress being a big issue right now. Mitch McConnell on pandemic relief. You know, it amazes me. You know, Nancy Pelosi already came out and told everybody that the reason that we haven't seen any COVID relief in the last 4 or 5 months is strictly because she wanted a new president. Didn't care about the people that it was hurting.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Right? That was Nancy Pelosi with the Affordable Care Act. Didn't care what we thought. Now we know she doesn't care about any of the other things and all the people that are hurting right now.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
Right? Mitch McConnell came up and the president came up with a $1.9 trillion plan. She turned it down because she had to have her $3.2 trillion pork-filled plan. Now they can't even agree on a $900 billion plan. So we may end up with this like a smaller $500 billion plan, all because she had to have her own way. We've talked about that before. There's a couple of sticking points, and I think it makes a lot of sense. McConnell comes up and said, let's set aside the biggest sticking points, set aside liability, set aside the state and local bailouts, and let's deal with those after the first of the year, but let's do what we all agree on right now. And Pelosi and Schumer come out and they say, well, the state and local funding provided by state and local funding provisions have broad bipartisan support. Really? I doubt it. So they're not going to go along with doing anything. Again, if they don't get everything they want, they'd rather do nothing. Now, this is going to be a big issue because January 5th in Georgia, if the Republicans win just one of those two Senate seats, well, then Mitch McConnell will maintain control of the United States Senate. And then we'll be looking and saying, does McConnell want to give Biden any wins? And does McConnell want to say, something, I'm not going to let anything go through? That is not exactly what we, the Republicans, want. McConnell and the Republicans want. So we may be looking into a whole lot more gridlock. And maybe it's all because Pelosi didn't want to compromise at all. And it's been that way her whole tenure. It'll be fascinating to see because if 538 is correct and 60% of the population is not happy with or feels that the election was not authentic. Let me find their exact word. That 60% of Americans do not believe the authenticity of the presidential vote. 60%. Now that's big. Why? Because 40% are not. That's going to be all of the diehard Trump supporters. So 40% says, okay, that's an easy number. 20% means you've got either all of the independents, which I doubt, or most of the independents and some of the Democrats as well do not believe the authenticity of the presidential election. So if that's the case, watch what's going to happen. And we may find out that over the next 2 years, okay, you've got a whole host of all the representatives and a third of the Senate are going to have to go before the people again. And will the people come up and say, something? We're not quite sure we want to give the same power to the same people. And even if they vote for the same party, if they take the power away from the same people, that's going to be a fascinating story. We'll be watching all of that for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, gift tax limits for 2021. And my featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today, Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL BRE number 018694452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by MySoCalLender.com. MySoCalLender.com. They've got all the information you need to get that new home. MySoCalLender.com. Go there, check it out. Today's property, or today's featured home, brought to you by our friend Gilda Johnson, 7811 East Horizon View Drive, Anaheim Hills. 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. Desirable upper end unit located in the gated community of Viewpoint North. Great location at the very end of Horizon View with no other homes next to you and sitting near a secluded spa. Perfect floor plan with no one living above or below you, and all the living on second floor. Entire first floor to open stairwell leading to upstairs living. Spacious open living room with vaulted ceilings, fireplace, many rooms, brightening windows, and sliding glass door to access private balcony. Plantation shutters on windows and sliding glass doors. All of this can be yours if the price is right. Yeah, $519,900. Got a 315 HOA there. Let's look at the financing strategy because, that's what we do here. FHA 3.5%, $18,197 down. You're looking at a principal and interest payment, $1,951.30. All in, $3,242. Put 20% down. You're looking at a principal and interest of $1,670.54 with a total payment of $2,609 when you add the dues, the insurance, and taxes. Strategy, here you go. So if you use the 25% buy down strategy, you're looking at a principal and interest payment under $1,500. Under. Yeah, and you have to add the same HOA, taxes, insurance, brings you up to $2,429, under $2,500 to own your own home in Anaheim Hills. Think about that concept right there. Now, for those of you keeping score, I will give you the numbers to keep our compliance people happy. APR is 3.299. APR is 2.693 and 2.474 and MLS 217037. Got to keep those compliance folks happy. Otherwise, they come and they get mad at you, and then you start getting the regulators mad at us. We can't have that happening. So we watch that for you. We don't want to get anybody in any trouble. But that is the featured home today, brought to you by MySoCalLender.com. So we're coming up on the end of the year, and, everyone wants to look at planning for next year. We talked about that a little bit previously. Talked about the idea that now is the time you should be chatting with your financial planners. Now's the time you should be talking with your tax strategists. Can't do tax planning next year. It's too late. You do that right now. Figure out what your projected tax liability is. Get all that information. For 2021, though, the annual gift tax exemption will stay at $15,000 per recipient. That means you can give up to $15,000 to as many people as you want during the coming year without any of it being subject to a gift tax. If you would like, I will give you my Venmo account number. You can send me $15,000 or any portion of it that you want. I know some people are going to say it's a bad joke, but I throw it out there anyway. So again, you can give $15,000 to as many people as you want during the coming year without any of it being subject to a gift tax. The gift tax is imposed by the IRS if you transfer money or property to another person without receiving at least equal value in return. This could apply to parents giving money to their children, the gifting of property such as a house or a car or any other transfer. There's also a lifetime exclusion of $11.58 million. For help with the gift tax or any other personal financial issues you may have, talk to a financial planner. If you don't have one, give me a call at 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch with somebody. Annual gift tax exclusion, again, $15,000 for 2021. Same for 2020. So if you haven't taken care of that or taken advantage of that, right now you still have that opportunity. This is the amount of money you can give as a gift to one person in any given year. Now, I can give $15,000 and my wife can give $15,000 to each one of our boys. So that would be a total of $90,000 we can give to the boys, because 3 boys, 2 parents, $15,000 to each of them from each of us. Again, I'm not giving tax advice, so make sure if you have any questions about this that you do talk to your financial planner, because I don't want to get anybody in any trouble. I'm just telling you information as I see it, as I am given it. So think about that. Let's do a little bit of a circle right here. Again, I want to bring up the screen so I can actually see that again. I can give my son $15,000. My wife can give my son $15,000. My wife can give a daughter-in-law $15,000. I can give daughter-in-law $15,000. $60,000 we can gift to them with no tax liability. Now, I told you that FHA loan was a $18,000 down payment. Got to add the closing costs in there. But think about that. We could actually do that without having to worry about any kind of gifting situation. I'm also looking at that buy down. If the kids had some money of their own, we could give them $30,000, right? So we can give them $60,000. That's half of that 25% buy down number that we were talking about. And they could be in their own home looking at a $2,429 down payment. Just if we did some planning properly, right? I can give them that right now. I can give them $60,000. Between my wife and I going to both kids. We could do that again in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right after the first of the year. Right? So now we're at $120,000 we could gift to them. And now they only need another $10,000 to come up with that 25% down payment, $10,000 of their own money. This is strategic planning that we're talking about, folks. That's why I give you this information. It's not because I just want to look at the information and share idle thoughts. It's because I understand that we've got these planning situations. You never have to pay taxes on gifts that are equal to or less than the annual exclusion limit. So you don't have to worry about paying the gift tax You know, you're just looking at a Christmas gift, Hanukkah gift, whatever it is. The annual gift exclusion limit applies on a per recipient basis. This gift tax limit isn't a cap on the total sum of all your gifts for the year. So if you've got 100 people that you want to give $15,000 to, I'd like to be one of them, right? You can give that to as many people as you want. You just cannot gift any one recipient more than $15,000. And again, you and your spouse can each give $15,000 to anyone. If you give more than the exclusion to a recipient, you need to file tax forms to disclose those gifts to the IRS. You may also have to pay taxes on it. If that's the case, the tax rates range from 18% up to 40%. What's the gift limit lifetime? Taxpayers won't even pay gift tax because the IRS allows you to gift up to $11.58 million over your lifetime without having to pay the gift tax. This is the lifetime gift tax exemption, roughly $180,000 higher than it was in 2019. Again, talk to a tax professional and get all the exact advice for your specific situation. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Tides that I tried to swim against.